In 2022, the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, he passed away, and this young man was only 43 years old when he passed away. The Black Panther, and when he passed away, his estate was worth about $4 million. Unfortunately, for Brother Chadwick, he didn't have a trust. So because he didn't have a trust, his estate, it was mandatory that his money go through probate court. So probate is mandatory for everybody that's listening to me now. The way your stuff is currently set up, it's probably 98% of you all that's listening to me right now. The way your current life is set up is that it's like what Solomon said. Solomon said, it's nothing more frustrating than seeing a man work and labor all of his life just to leave his money to strangers. So there's a term I want you to get used to. It's called abeyance, not obeyance, but abeyance. Abeyance means it's the amount of time that an estate, the money in an estate and the assets in a state are not being claimed by anybody because they weren't directed to be claimed by anybody. And we have this serious life that we live, and we have this casual planning of life after we're gone. And what I want to suggest to you this morning is that we should have the same zeal in the way that we work and how hard we work for our families and all the blood, sweat, and tears we put into a day's work. I submit to you that we should have the same zeal about making sure that the work is still working when we dead and gone, because we will be dead and gone. That's why I work my son, my daughter, and my grandkids. That's why. That's why they work with me. That's why they are the successors to my trust. Why? Because nobody can take the money, all this hard-earned money that Brother Ricky made. It ain't gonna never be in court. That ain't gonna never happen. Why? It's going directly to the successor, and then the successor can distribute it to the beneficiaries based on the fact that the successor is in control. They become the new trustee. And then you can do that from generation to generation to generation and never have to deal with estate taxes at all. Never have to deal with probate fees at all. So when I read about Chadwick, and I'm like, man, he was such a great actor. He was such a great actor, such a beautiful person, such a great activist. And when I read this, it just breaks my heart. I'm sitting here reading Chadwick Boseman's estate went through the probate process, which is a mandatory legal procedure for states without a will. Well, it's a mandatory legal procedure for your estate, even if you have a will, because a will means that your stuff will absolutely be in court. If you haven't gotten my book called Control Everything, Own Nothing, just put control in the chat and order your copy of that book. That's my first book I wrote, because when I first started learning about estate planning and how this stuff goes, I was like, wow, I got to write a book so everybody can know. So it's an introduction. So if you've never read my book, Control Everything, All Nothing, just put control in the chat, and it would be a good purchase, a good read for you. So I'm talking in my book about how to be private, and how I live and how my clients live. All right. So he says his estate was close to $4 million. This amount covered it. He said, but initially $900,000 went towards probate costs. He said 900,000 to $1 million from the initial value of the estate, which was close to $4 million. This amount covered attorney fees, court costs, taxes, and other expenses associated with settling the estate, a process that took nearly 2 years to complete. Can you imagine that? I said, can you imagine that? This is the way most of you all that's listening to me right now, this is your life. All right. You say, Brother Ricky, why you been teaching us for 6 years online? What's going on? I'm like, because we are slow to change the way that we do things. And I understand that. I understand if you're going to help people, you got to have a lot of patience if you're going to help people, because people don't catch on to things real fast. I mean, you have good intentions and you don't want to see nothing happen, but your life has been so programmed to procrastinate. Are you hearing me? I said, you've been PTP. Everybody put in the chat so you can realize what's going on. Put this PTP. You and I, we have been programmed to procrastinate. That's the way. It's not, we ain't just chronic procrastinators. We've been programmed to procrastinate. We've been taught how to be casual. Why? Because the only way somebody can take advantage of you is you got to keep putting off stuff and putting off stuff and putting off stuff and putting off stuff. And they say, if I can get the masses to get relaxed, then we can just pimp the hell out of them. Why? Because they're so relaxed. They're not even sitting down at the house having a conversation about mortality. I'm like, why do we sit up and talk about, no, he didn't have no revocable trust, Melody. He didn't have a trust at all. And by the way, we only create irrevocable trust. We don't create revocable trust because that stuff can go to court too. So that's what happened to Michael Jackson. That's why Michael Jackson stuff is still in court right now. And it's 16 years after he passed away, Melody. 16 years later, they already hit his estate for $100 million in taxes. All right. They tried to get 600 million out of them in taxes because they just threw a number out there. Because the IRS is just a company with the EIN like everybody else. And if your first name is Nye and your last name is Eve, they'll send you stuff telling you that you owe money that you don't even owe. And because they have programmed us to procrastinate and programmed you to be scared of them and to look at them like they're some type of fierce government entity, then it makes you panic. So typically, when you get something from the IRS, you think you got to acquiesce to what they said, when quite often they just made up something and just mailed it to you. They ain't nothing but a company. They are not Jesus Christ. They are not God. Do not bow down to the IRS, okay? When the IRS sends something to you, they got to prove what they said is true. All right? Are you listening to me? It ain't true because they said it. So when they went to court, his lawyers went to court, and instead of him paying 600 million, they ended up paying 100 million in taxes. But the IRS, how can they be $500 million off? How is that? Because they some doggone gangsters, want to be gangsters. Are you hearing me? If they notice you are scary and apprehensive, uneducated, and easy to be led, it should be illegal to even send somebody a $500 million bill and know you made it up. And everybody that wrote that paperwork up should be in jail. Are you hearing me? So I was saying, I'm talking to you for a few minutes about privacy because today is the last day that you can be a part of our financial IQ challenge this month if you decide you want to come. So if you want to come, just put challenge in the chat or go to rickthewealthcoach.com, rickthewealthcoach.com, and click the link to come today. If you want to come, you can still come today, and you can still get today, tomorrow, and Friday. After today, you won't be allowed, excuse me, won't be allowed to come to the challenge this month. So this is the last quarter of the year. And if you're tired of living a public life where everybody can do whatever they want to do to you, and you want to live a private life like we live, nobody can go into my bank account under no circumstances. Not the IRS, not the feds. Can't nobody go into my bank account because it's a private account. Why? Because we have a private, irrevocable trust. And today when I'm in a challenge, I'm going to teach you all how we buy and sell properties out of a trust with zero taxation. That's right. I even got clients who don't even pay property taxes no more because they have our 508 trust. Okay. They don't even pay property taxes anymore and don't pay a penny when we buy and sell a property. I mean, not $1 in capital gains. So that's what we're going to be going over today. Let's finish reading about what happened to Brother Chadwick here, though, because this is sad, and I don't want to see this happen to you all. He said, how was the state reduced? He says, initial state value, Bosman State was initially valued at nearly $4 million. Probate expenses. The probate process incurred significant costs, include attorney fees, which were a major expense, court costs, the legal process itself involved various court-related expenses, taxes and debts. The state was responsible for paying taxes and other outstanding obligations. The final net estate, after deducting these expenses and fees, the net estate was reduced to about $2.3 million, which was then split evenly between his widow, Simone Ledward Bosman, and his parents. So how do you leave $4 million and it dwindles down to $2.3 million? If that ain't pimping, I don't know what is. Pimping the dead. Everybody put PTD in the chat. Pimping the dead. That's what these courts That's what these courts do. Did you hear what I said? I said the courts, they pimp the dead. Are you listening to me? Everybody put PDD in that chat because I don't want you to be good. How dare you allow somebody to pimp you from the grave? I mean, can't you rest in peace? You're in a grave getting pimped. Don't make no sense. Got pimped all your life while you was alive, and then you get pimped while you're in the grave. I'm talking about that's just ridiculous. I ain't hear what I'm talking about. So if y'all tired of being pimped up while you're alive, we can help you change that. Okay. And if you don't want to be getting pimped while you're in a grave, we can help you change that now because you ain't gonna change it when you're in a grave. Are you listening to me? Once you're gone, baby. Once I'm gone, I'm gone. Ain't nothing else happening. You say, well, that's a very sobering message this morning, Brother Ricky. Well, sober up. All right. Get over your hangover that life has given you and sober up. Take some of this medicine I'm giving you today so people can stop pimping you. All right. So we're going to be discussing those things today in a challenge, how to buy and sell properties with no taxes whatsoever. If I met Brother Chadwick, if I knew Brother Chadwick, it had never happened to him. If we had ever had a conversation, it would have never, and he had listened to me, it would have never happened to him. He would have had $4 million, and God bless his beautiful soul, you know, passing at 43 years old. My little sister passed at 45 years old from cancer. So I'm 100% feeling the pain of his wife and his mother and you know, and his family. I feel that thing because I still think about Tisha pretty much every day of my life. And it's been 12 where she passed away in 2012. Yeah, so it's going on what 13 years now, but it still seemed like yesterday because that cancer is something else, you know. And but if I had known Brother Chadwick, I would have told him, listen, I'm gonna help you create an irrevocable private trust. And then, brother, just live your life and enjoy your life. Anything happens to you, your wife will get all of your money. All right. And if you want your mom and daddy to have some of it, just put it down, make her the trustee, and then just make her aware that you like her to disperse some of that money to your mother and your father. But she's your wife. She should be your co-trustee. All right. And with her being your co-trustee, she got access to all the funds. They can't take nothing. They can't take your real estate. They can't tax your real estate. They can't take your, I mean, nothing, none of your stuff, none of your belongings because it's private. Are you hearing me? So if you want to live a private life and you don't know what you're doing and you don't want to be up under that type of scrutiny, you still have time to come to the challenge. All right. You say, what is your challenge, Brother Ricky? It's called the Financial IQ Challenge. Just go to rickthewealthcoach.com and the challenge link is right there. rickthewealthcoach.com and read about what we do. Okay. And see, you know, how we live. And we've got a plethora of clients clear across the United States. And all of us are private. Every last one of us is private. Nobody can go into our bank accounts and take our money under no circumstances. Nobody can take us to court. Nobody has the power to. The court ain't nothing but a bank in the first place. All right. They call them courts of law, but they really banks for the United States Corporation of America because they create a whole bunch of fees and they rob the hell out of the average naive person and they pimp people from the dead. Now you hear me? That's why judges have on those black robes and stuff. Why? Because they basically perform as seances. Are you listening to me? And I'm telling you right now, and the judge themselves, they have what you call a 801k, not a 401k, an 801k, meaning what? They get twice as much money as a 401k. See, these are things we don't even know. We don't even know judges have an 801k. All right. It ain't okay for a judge to have an 801k. It's not okay for y'all to be meddling in a dead man's business and a dead woman's business. See, the reason they can meddle in your business when you dead is because you was dead before you died. Did y'all get that? All right. Everybody put don't die twice. Everybody put DDT in the chat. Okay. Everybody put DDT in the chat. Don't die twice. I'm just amazed at people. I'm like, look, we are alive. Okay. We greet. Good morning, Mr. James. How you doing? We are alive. Wait, who's alive? All of us that have a private life. We are alive. I mean, we are walking live men and women. We're not dead no more. Why? Because we operate out of private trust. A private trust means that you are alive. You alive in commerce. Don't die twice. Okay. If you every time y'all walk into these banks and out of these banks and you ain't got no private trust, you just giving your money away. Well, I mean, it's such a setup. You hear what I'm talking about? So don't die twice. All right, we're about to start our challenge in about 5 minutes. So you can either comment challenge here on Instagram. You can comment challenge on Facebook, on TikTok, and YouTube. If you really want to get a link and you really want to come, go to rickthewealthcoach.com. Go to rickthewealthcoach.com and look on my website. That's my personal website. And I created it because we got a lot of thieves who fake like they me. And y'all been sending me y'all money because y'all sent me messages. You say, Brother Ricky, I joined your crypto program. My crypto program is $1 million program. You didn't join my program. You got some crooks who got you to send them your money. And I don't want your money. Don't send me $1. All right. You can come to the challenge and you can learn what it is that we're doing. You can do that. And the challenge costs you a little money to come to it. You can come to that, and then you can decide if you want to be a part of anything that we're doing. All right. So the challenge is just comment the word challenge. This is the last day that you can come for this month. We're about to start in 5 minutes now, and you're still welcome to come. Today we're going to talk about real estate privately. If I had known Brother Chadwick, they'd have never taxed $1 of his real estate, not 1 penny of it. Are you hearing me? Listen, I'm not bragging. But we cold-blooded when it come down to writing up a private trust. We way colder than your lawyer. Did you hear what I said? I said we way, way, way colder than your lawyer. 99.9% of y'all got a revocable living trust, and your lawyer wrote that foolishness up for you. All right? That's right. I'm calling your lawyer out. Your lawyer wrote you up a revocable living trust, which ain't nothing but legalese, because first of all, nothing living about it. The only way somebody gets some money is you got to die. You ain't getting $1 back from the bank with no revocable living trust. Plus, everything you got is still taxable. You still got to pay taxes on. They're going to whack the mess out your estate if you got any money. Basically, you working for two people. If you don't operate out of a private, irrevocable trust, you basically work for two entities. You're working for the bank and you're working for the IRS. And it's just that simple. And then when you die, they're going to add the court. Right now, you're working for the bank and you're working for the IRS. You don't work for you. Why? Because you take all that hard-earned money and you shuffle off a good percentage of it to the IRS. And then the other parts, you just deposit it every 2 weeks into the bank automatically without getting none of it back. So that's the way y'all been living. So that's why I teach. That's why we don't live like that. We don't work for the IRS and we don't work for the bank. Okay. They do what we say because we live private. When you live private, you have power. All right. Privacy equals power. Everybody put P equals P in the chat. Privacy equals power. If you ain't private, you ain't got no power. You're being told what to do, dictated to, and pretty much you working for two different entities. And that's just the way it is. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it because I came to help make you wealthy, to help you to become wealthy. How in the world are you going to be wealthy working for people, all your hard work going to somebody else? And Solomon said it's a doggone shame. Are you hearing me? So I got to ride right now. For those of you all who are in the challenge, I've really enjoyed you for these first 2 days. We look forward to having a spectacular day today. We've had a great time over these first 2 days. You all have been a lot of fun. You've given me a lot of energy. And I want you to know that I'm really enjoying teaching you because you all have great attitudes, not good attitudes, great attitudes. Everybody this whole 2 days, the energy level has been palpitating. And I don't mean no rah, 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 fake type of energy. I'm talking about the people came to learn this week and I came to teach. And I feel the power and the anointing of teaching. And I can see the people are really listening and paying attention. So I have a lot of respect for the fact that you all are paying attention the way that you are. But if you're not in a class, you don't even know what I'm talking about. All right. So we're about to take off. Go to rickthewealthcoach.com. Good morning. How you doing, Hector? Go to rickthewealthcoach.com if you're interested in coming today and sign up for the Financial IQ Challenge, or just put challenge in the chat if you're on Instagram here, or if you're on Facebook. And I would tell my son if y'all on YouTube, I'll tell them to send it to you right quick. Okay. I love you all. You all have a beautiful, phenomenal, fantastic day. The return, go to Rick the Wealth Coach right quick. Don't put challenge here because it won't come across. Just go to Rick the Wealth Coach. In fact, you all that's on YouTube, go to Rick the Wealth Coach real quick, Melody. Go to rickthewealthcoach.com, my website. So that way you get it faster instead of waiting on Ricky to send it to you, because he's busy setting up the challenge for everybody right now. So if you're on YouTube, go to rickthewealthcoach.com. If you're on Instagram, just put in challenge. If you're on Facebook, just put in challenge. So today's the last day. And other than that, you'll have to talk to us next month on November, which means you're probably going to lose a lot of money. If you got any money and you want to operate the way that we're operating, then you're probably going to lose another month worth of deposits if you got any kind of substantial money that you're working with. Okay. I love you all. Have a great, phenomenal, fantastic, incredible day. Be blessed in the city and be blessed in the field. And remember that stellar is as stellar does. Your last chance to be in the Financial IQ Challenge starts 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can sign up right now because that door is about to close. I love you all. Have a great day. Okay. And I'll see some of you all starting